I didn't know that.
And on that note, we will do the intro, guys. Welcome to episode 11 of the Columbus DJ podcast. We have DJ Corrupt back from Myrtle Beach. How was your trip, buddy?
It was great, man. Had to get away from, you and all these other people, but I'm back. I'm just kidding, by the way. It's good to be back. Oh, my mom just joined. What's up, Mama?
She's always here, man. Mama Corrupt always joins the show. But hey, watch out behind you, dude. Felix is looking angry, and he's like in sneaky mode. I don't know if you can see that.
That's because he heard thunder like 10 minutes ago, and he's freaking out. So
he's just staying close to you for that, for protection.
Yeah. But it's great to be back, man. I got a few minutes to watch the last week's episode, and it was great watching B-Funk host it.
Mm-hmm.
It was great, and now I'm excited about these guys.
Yeah, do you wanna introduce these guys? They both have Z's in their name. That's why we did it.
Or we'll start with Joe. Joe, just tell everybody a little bit about you, what you do, what you play, where you DJ at.
Who you are.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Joe, DJ Zona. So I kind of started dabbling in DJing and stuff maybe 2009, 2010. I got my first like real set of gear probably, I think when I graduated 2011, that would have been. I played at college parties for years, and then I started getting into the downtown scene in Columbus, I think 2016. I've been doing a lot of promotions, and that's kind of how I got into the whole scene. I started as a promoter, and then I kind of, got my foot in the door that way. I play everything, but I like playing house music a lot. That's probably my favorite, tech house. I like disco a lot, but I play everything. Play at Dahlia, BBR. I was playing at Fireproof. That's up in the air now. I haven't been back there since everything closed, but yeah, I'm not sure if I left anything out there.
It's amazing because you've had actually a very successful DJ career, like low key, and I say low key because you've had all kinds of different gigs, and and I think it's awesome because you learned from DJ Surge, I think, right? Not everybody gets that opportunity to learn from somebody as experienced and skilled as him. So it's been cool to watch your growth as a DJ, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely really lucky. I people talk to him a lot, and everyone wants to learn stuff from him, and it's not that he's necessarily unwilling to, but he's only one person, so I just kind of, I don't know if it was the right place at the right time, or got to give a big shout out to him for teaching me a lot, but I'm definitely really lucky.
What are some performances that you're like really proud of? Because I know you've like opened up for some shows, and then you've had like some shows that like just were random Saturday nights that like you killed it. Like, what was the most memorable performance for you?
Like the first thing that comes to mind is when we had Mala last year. Me and James both played before him, and that was like that was a fun set. I felt really good about it. It was a good crowd. A lot of times I get the earlier sets, so it's either not not packed, or hold on one second, my notifications are blowing up right now.
Oh my God, you're on the podcast. We can see. That's what.
Thanks for all the
viewers, Joe. No, but yeah, that's one that really stands out a lot, because I got to play a lot of tracks that I don't get to play a lot. It was a good crowd. It was a good energy. That whole night was just fun. I remember James had a really good set. It was just fun all around. But more of like a regular type set. I think St. Patrick's Day last year, that was another bar crawl that I remember really well. It was packed out. St. Patrick's Day always is, but people were singing along. It was just a lot of fun.
Dude, you crush those bar crawls, man. Every time I walk in, it's like we do like time slot windows. We each would like split it up into like 2 hours, and he would just have it rocking. He's like, "Oh no, man, I'm just feeling it." I'm like, "What the heck?"
Cinco de Mayo is the one I remember where like I showed up really early, And then Zona's just in there like getting it to some like Latin music. I didn't even know you played Latin music, but he like, you know, obviously, you know, I think everyone has like that surface Latin stuff, but you were playing some deep cuts and some new stuff. So I was like, all right, Zona.
All right, Gonzo, obviously you've got a big resume, but go ahead and just give like a brief introduction, man.
Brief? I grew up in New York in the 80s when I was a kid there, so music was everywhere. And I didn't really, I mean, I paid attention to it, but I kind of took it for granted because, as you know, like 80s and 90s, like that, those decades, you had hip hop, like punk, house, and just the pop music in general that was like huge artists, Prince, Madonna, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Public Enemy, and just like the collection is forever huge. But so I didn't really pay attention to mix shows. I knew of them. I didn't pay attention until I moved to Ohio in the early 90s. And at that point, radio was less fragmented, and you had so many radio stations were doing live mix shows from clubs and bars, or they had a pre-recorded show that would be something like Marcus Schultz at the time was doing a top 40 show for NCI. And so that's what I just would hear this, and I'm like, oh, that's dope. I just start hitting record on all these different mix shows on different formats, like Power 106 before it was 107. You had alternative here that would play alternative music with the UK stuff. And so you just would take all these cassettes of music and go back and listen to them the day after and dissect how they're doing this, how they're mixing this. And you're just like, that's what, you know, because you don't have YouTube and media, social media to see these DJs that are podcasting live or doing live YouTube videos or whatever. You had to listen to the radio. Or, you know, you just wait till you're of age, you could sneak into the bar and clubs. So it's like Samurai and I would, he's 5 years older than me, but same thing. You would sneak into the bars and see the DJs spinning vinyl on 3 turntables or, you know, battle style, whatever style they were doing. It was just fascinating. So that's what got me into it. So around 95, I started DJing, skate rink stuff, learning how to talk, how to learn how to play music. But I would buy vinyl, but I would buy everything. I would buy house music that I loved, that I would hear, hip hop stuff, 2 copies of each hip hop record. I met Bombay in high school, and he was just walking through the lunchroom with a turntable, and I'm like, who's this guy? At that point, because we were teenagers. I was DJ or Speedy G, because I was Speedy Gonzalez. That was like a nickname. And he was DJ Tech Unique. But I would go to his house after school, and he'd have 1 Gemini turntable and 1 Technic 1200, and he would try to relay and do cuts. But the Gemini turntable was the competition at the time, and it had no torque on it. So he'd be like relaying and be like, the record would take off quick. Then he would do a trick, and the Gemini would be like, and it would like, catch speed. But he hated house music, and I would mix that stuff. And he was like, what is this shit? Like, turn it off. But then he learned to love it. And so we just started doing parties together. Fast forward to 2005, that's when I started radio. Started doing mix shows, and by 2008 I was on the air doing on-air shifts, and it just blew up from there.
Dude, I have so many questions.
Right?
So 15 years of radio, that's amazing. But let's talk about, well, first I want to say, like, when I first met Gonzo, you were way into your career already. But I'll never forget, like, we did a couple shows. We did the New Year's Eve one at the Renaissance. We did the Hyatt one. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We did the Hyatt one. I think it was a Halloween gig. And just, I remember you had like edits that I always wanted, that I was jealous that you had and I didn't have. And I never asked you for them, but it was like X mixes and those funky mixes and all that stuff. I don't even know if they still make them or not, but
Yeah.
yeah, and they were sweet. Like, they were like not full party breaks, but like really good intros for like each song. And
I try like not to use as many of those, but they come in handy when you're doing mix shows. Yeah. I mean, I still like to use just regular versions. Some of those versions of those songs, I would use them after the song had been out so they could recognize it. Some of them are too remixed.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, honestly, even in the 90s, I didn't use that many of them. Surge, actually, since he came up, he used a lot of those back in the day, in the 90s, when he used a lot of them.
Probably when he was at Mint, too, because he was
even before that. He was on the west side at Fat Jack's in the late 90s doing it. But he would have a bar that was 2,000 people every Saturday night. It was nuts.
Wow.
Dang, wow.
Yeah, those mixes, I always liked them, especially at the time. All of them were pretty sweet. But But then also, you know, we just had DJ IQ on a couple weeks ago, and we talked a little bit to him about the radio DJing. And a lot of people might not understand, and I know you have a lot more duties than just playing music on the radio. Can you talk about what all you do and what all goes behind the scenes with working on the radio?
Well, other than being on the air and doing air shifts, like that would be just on the weekends here and there, and connecting with your audience, playing music, you know, just trying to be someone like for example, like every year we would get research back on who was listening to the station, because every audience is different on each radio station. So we would get who usually like a profile of who's listening to the radio station. You just try to open the mic and talk to that person and say, hey, this is what's going on, you know, just make a relationship type of thing. And then the music just speaks for itself. You're playing the hit music at a certain time. Like the music will change during the day parts, like people listening at work versus in the car or at night, younger. And the mix shows, of course, on the weekend, all those popular shows like Most Requested Live that are satellite, they're on like 250 stations, things like that. It just added value to the listener and whatnot. But as far as doing mix shows here, every week I get research on a site I was talking to Mike about earlier, mediabase247.com. You could pick rhythmic format, urban, top 40, or the dance. You know, you have all the radio different formats there, and then you get the research on every song, which is breaking, what's the top of the chart, what's going down. And you can click on it and get real time how many stations are playing it, how many times they played it, how many weeks it's been on the charts. And then you can get Shazam on there too. So there's all these different things that come together where you could pick and choose the songs that you want to mix, and you find an edit of it that you like, then you're just mashing it all up to make a show. That's just like either 2 hours or 4 hours. But the thing that's the only difference is on Friday, the mix show I do is one that's syndicated on like 20 stations. So that all those stations will get a mix show that would be sent to them with a cue sheet. It has the talkover times between each song if there's a talkover. So the jocks can make it and customize it for their own radio station to make it their show. Saturdays, we're either live at the club or I'm doing it here. So I'm free range to do whatever I want. I want to make a full-blown club mix in your face. With the bigger hits, you'd rotate them, but you'd also take some throwback, old school, and then some stuff you haven't heard in a while, like, oh shit, I haven't heard that in a while. You're just making a big party. That's all it is. So like if you were playing on a Saturday night and you wanted to be on the radio and you just wanted to bang out whatever you're feeling, because you're not really playlisted. You got to pay attention to what you're doing with the listener.
Right.
The club in front of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And also just, you know, IQ was talking about when he first started working on the radio, he wasn't as equipped. You know, through experience, he got better, but just like voice training, learning to be more comfortable on the mic. Is that something that you picked up quickly? Because I hear you now on WNCI, and it's just like you're meant to be there. What do you agree, Mike? Like it's just
absolutely.
Like you're
I mean, that's been his home forever.
You know what? That's a good question. A lot of DJs, I think, should spend more time trying to work a mic, because that's added value to connect with your audience and your crowd. You know, even you ever notice like certain bars, like you go to certain cities, you'll see people just hopping from one bar to another. Then you hear like certain Pitbull records there, and then you go here and you hear the same records or whatever. When you hear an MC or someone that's not talking all over the music, but when someone's on the mic and connecting, giving shout outs to birthdays and whatnot, that's just old school, like classic partying, DJing altogether 101. I mean,
I agree.
A lot of people don't do that anymore. But as far as the radio goes, talking, I started doing it at the skate rink before I was even mixing, really. So something I picked up, and then, you know, it was terrifying the first time I ever did radio. I mean, I was like, you know, I was skipping over my words, firing off the wrong things on the board. But I mean, it's all trial and error, just like DJing. You know, you hit or miss with crowds, but you learn. So, I mean, radio, it just comes natural after a while.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because on my vacation, there was like a DJ that set up the smallest little setup you can imagine at our pool. And, you know, my mom's like, go over there and show them how to do it. I'm like, Mom, calm down.
Moms always do that, dude. Moms
yeah, they do. But anyway, he would play, like, I actually did learn something from him, because he's sitting there and the way he's introducing each song and the interacting he's doing with whatever kind of crowd he had, it was, I mean, I'm talking, there was like, you know, a 70-year-old woman over here, there's kids over here, but he's just like in his zone. You know, he's about to play Tootsie Slide by Drake, and he made it happen, like, because he just spent like 2 minutes talking about what he's about to do on the mic and getting a dance floor going. And I know that sounds like pretty standard, you know, DJing as far as like being on the mic, but it made me realize, like, we're all playing a lot of the same music, and what a unique way to like keep the party going from where he just was. He was just playing like some like loungy tropical stuff and then went into this. Like, I don't know, it's just I'm always learning something.
Yep, and I took the words right out of my mouth. Jason was saying, like, you can learn, like, even I learn a lot more from, I don't want to say bad DJs, but you guys know what I'm talking about, like inexperienced DJs. I learn more from them, because if an inexperienced DJ can rock a crowd, like, there's something that I can learn from that, because they're not doing a lot of the stuff that the experienced guys, and they're not locked into. Like, I learn a lot from Love Jack, and I know I talk about him all the time, but inexperienced DJ, but I learn a ton from Love Dragon, just with his presence and on the mic stuff. And Gonzo, you've won so many awards for what you do with the mix shows. I want to come back to that, but I want to talk to Zona a little bit. Joe, you know, you're one of my favorite people to party with. Might be going out tonight, who knows? But I just want to hear about like some of the craziest nights you've had. You're you're a really good storyteller. I just want you to pick a night that you were going crazy and just tell us a good crazy night story, man, because they're all so good.
What's the most amount of mango bombs you've taken in a night?
That's question number one.
If I had to just guess, I mean, I couldn't even tell you an honest answer. You know, who knows? Maybe 24, 25. I don't know. I know I've had some big tabs. But as far as crazy nights, you know, I feel like some of the craziest nights haven't even necessarily been me DJing. You know, of course, there were the college parties I played where, you know, it's a miracle I'm still alive after some of them, let alone, you know, whatever. But I don't, you know, either I don't remember some of those, or, you know, they all kind of blur together. But the thing that stands out most, I think, was the first time we had Lil Jon. And that was, 2 years ago, you know, like, man, that whole week, even building up to it, was just so damn wild.
Talk about it, bro. I want to hear details. I want this crowd to understand what was going on at this show.
So just to like lay a little bit of groundwork, you know, for personally, I was at the club all week. We were doing a lot of renovations and stuff, so I was worn out. I'd never seen Lil Jon either. Everyone's talking about how awesome he is. I don't know what to expect, but I knew it was going to be a party. And you know, if there's one way I could describe it, like, if you imagine Lil Jon based on his music, he's that guy. Like, he's not fronting anyone. But man, like, from the start, before we even opened, we had a line down the block. It started snowing that night. It's the middle of April, but it's still cold as you know, as cold as I've ever seen any April night, you know. But it's packed out. I don't remember who was playing before him. It didn't even matter, man. It was just one of those vibes where everyone's having a good time. Like, everyone's just going nuts from the start. But there, you know, halfway through his set, this girl that a lot of people around the industry know, she gets up on the subwoofers and he starts telling her to start getting naked and stripping, and she won't do it. So he has her thrown out of the club.
No, that's not what happened.
No, hold on. Wait, what happened?
This was I think there's two girls that went up on the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were two girls. So that's only part number one, man.
Stay tuned.
So then another girl that's a well-known dancer around Columbus, she gets up and she's on all fours up on top of the DJ booth, right? Which kind of is impressive enough because I mean, that's what, like a 2x8. Like, it's surprising that she didn't fall off. You know? But, you know, she's got her tits pulled out, like her dress. So she's almost naked as it is. And Lil Jon gets up there and takes her panties off. He's standing on top of the DJ booth and he slings them out into the crowd. And I think my favorite part of the whole story is I was talking to security at the end of the night and no one found them. So somebody took those home.
Oh. Didn't you tell some girl who was like, you know, he's like, yo, I've been to spring break. I've been to this, that, the other. You got to do something or something. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, there was something
video,
along those lines. I
just
mean,
yell at a
he was
girl.
rocking the mic with it too. But if there's one guy that knows how to throw a party, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, he just he would play any song, and if you think about like just his voice being "put your hands up" or whatever he would say, it just made the track 10 times better. It could be anything, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing for him.
I think
Yeah,
he's,
man,
he's our
I've
generation's Fat Man Scoop. I mean, not
Yeah,
that Fat Man Scoop's
definitely.
not doing anything now. He's still killing it. But like to me, like that, like it was Fat Man Scoop at his era, and then it was kind of Lil Jon, and I don't know who's the guy for that. Maybe like Travis Scott. Maybe he's the new dude for that.
Yeah, I don't know if there is someone that's like that now, because there's no one like that now. I feel like that's just like a backup on. Lil Jon was on how many tracks, or he's just saying or just goofy stuff in the background. I've always said he's one of the best backup rappers of all time, because there's so many tracks he's featured on where he's not even
What's
doing
that,
anything.
Gonzo?
He was putting out records in the 90s. He worked for Jermaine Dupri's label, So Def, in the 90s. That's where Little John started DJing, and he was doing record stuff back then, too. Same with Fat Man Scoop. He was, what did that record, Be Faithful, came out in like 98, 99, didn't it?
It's still going. Still
yeah,
going.
Right? It's like we were talking about Usher, earlier. It's 2003. Yeah. It's still top 10 gold on radio on like multiple formats. It's like, what the hell?
We keep playing it, bro.
Stop,
Joe, you did not disappoint. Thank you very much for that. I thought you were going to tell the DJ scene story where where PD kept the club open late. Sorry.
Oh no, that was Vice, not Scene.
Oh, Vice. Sorry, I get that.
Yeah, man, I forgot all about that. That was 4th of July, and that was 4th of July. It was a Sunday, and everyone had been out for Red, White, and Boom the night before and everything. No one was really out. But there are a few places that were open because there was no work the next day, and we maybe had 20 people in until about 2:00. People start pouring in from other bars, and PD goes, "We're keeping it open," and maybe for 45 minutes we let people in. He had cops standing at the door making sure no one came in, and it was a party until. What time did he stop playing? 5 or 6 in the morning or something? There have been a couple of nights like that.
What's funny is because it snowed, we lost that whole patio, which lost significant amount of sales. But the party was tightened, and it was just so crazy that nobody was worried about it. We're just like, we'll break even, or we'll lose a little money. We just do this party. It is what it is.
None of that surprises me, because even back in the day, PD we were allowed to leave the bars open until 4 in the morning. And it was just like Samurai would have to go back and forth because we were you'd burn out after 2 hours, 3 hours, man. It was just
the curfew was later.
Yeah, the bars would close at 4 in the morning on holidays. PD would be that guy to leave it open until 4 in the morning. And
yeah, let's talk about that, because
30 it'd start clearing out, but we're just still going.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because we could be going back to that. The Ohio Congress passed bars can stay open until 4 a.m. I think we're still waiting on the governor to sign it into law, if I remember AP government correctly. But what do you guys think? You think DJ rates will go up? Are you excited about maybe after parties? Do you think it's going to affect nightlife at all? Do you think people will be done by 3 anyway? What do you think?
It's like I said earlier when we were talking off the video. If you get off work at 11 or at midnight and you want to go out still, you still have that option. You don't have to rush out of the house. Sure. And if you don't like a party, if something goes down at a club and they're closing, or, something you want to go someplace else, fine, cool. You got options. You got more options, and you could stay out later. But because they say back in the day before I was DJing, but people would go out 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, that's cool. Bars were packed early, but more people are going out later now. You know, it seems like.
Any places that I've played that have that curfew, whether it's Miami, I play it in New York, a couple spots, everyone has a later dinner, everyone goes out a little bit later. I wonder if it's going to happen that way. I think you'll see some restaurants stay open and serve food a little later as well.
I hope
because I don't know the transition, how long it'll take for that to happen, or if it will happen, but I'm excited. I think it's more opportunity for DJs. I don't see if someone's required to play 9 p.m. to what is it 4 a.m. like that's not cool. But like, if you're getting paid,
I love doing that though. They really do.
yeah.
I think I would like that. That to me sounds like fun.
But how many nights a week are you doing that?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Probably only one.
That's another thing. We used to DJ back in the day every night. Like you'd have residencies, or you would just be bouncing around to different bars. Like I've done that too.
Was that because there were so many so few DJs, or so many nightclubs, or just people went out during the week?
A lot more dance clubs, and there was less DJs. Yes. I think also at the same time, I mean, everything wasn't just like cluttered into one area, like downtown. You didn't have that. You had places in the suburbs. Like I guess I can go back to like 20 years ago, maybe like Sunday night, you'd go to PD's bar at Cabana on 161 and be packed. It was 18 plus. Then Monday you'd be at his other club in Arlington. That would be, I think 18 plus too. Sometimes that would be open till 4 a.m. If it's a holiday, they'd have no problem with it. It was a 2-level dance club. Tuesdays would be shooters. Everyone would go see Tommy D. He was the guy to see. Wednesday was at Banana Joe's, Cabana. Thursdays, it was just everywhere. Friday, the weekends, people would always be downtown at the house bars, Mecca and Red Zone.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have hip hop in the front room, and now like hip hop's way bigger than that. So probably be reversed, but I mean, it was just interesting because you had more options, but you had to travel outside of different areas.
Do you guys have any concerns? Or sorry, Joe, I don't know if we heard from you about it.
Yeah, I think it's looking at it on a more broad scale, I think it's a good sign for Columbus. Because, like James said, Miami, New York, Vegas, I think LA, a lot of those big party cities, they don't close at 2:00, Yeah, I don't know if I'm leaving any other places out really, but
Chicago stays open late. LA does not. I think they're more like house party scene. Like clubs close like early, like 1:30.
Yeah, it's actually earlier.
Okay.
They have
but yeah, my point still, I think it's a good sign for Columbus. I guess we'll see. I'm excited about it, but honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be apprehensive to actually do it all the way to 4:00. I think it's going to take some time to catch on, and I think when it does, I think like you guys said, it's just going to be kind of a shift where instead of people are going out at 9, 10, 11 and staying out until 4, I think you're going to see people not even getting out until 12:00, 1:00.
I would love, and this is probably not going to happen, but I would love it if like maybe like 9 to like 11, there was like an older crowd, like you would expect like 30s and 40s crowd to come in. And then, you mix those crowds between like 11 to 1, and then maybe you get like the younger crowd from 1 to 4. That to me sounds so much fun. I don't know if it'll happen, but that would be kind of cool. Say that again, Gonzo?
That's how we do Club NCI. We're at Callahan's for so many years. We have every age group that was in there. It was mostly people that just graduated college, but you had older people too. Because the radio would draw, in that area when it was still in its prime, other than like, BB on Dolly, I think the rest of them are just kind of like doing their own thing musically. But back then you would have the older crowd and the younger. So when we were mixing the show, we'd be like one gold record into a new record and we'd just kind of balance it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, we had people partying together. It was fun.
Mike just wants to have age windows show up so he can play a whole different set for the next 2 hours. I know what you're thinking.
Maybe. I just want more people out. That's all I want. More people out enjoying music. And so if we can get
surprised, though, how many people that are older like the new current music.
True.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe.
But you know what? Another thing about that staying open till 4 a.m, that's definitely some added revenue that people need right now after so many months of being closed.
Yeah, for sure. I'm wondering if that's why it went through. Like I haven't read anything about the bill or why it was put in or why it passed. But yeah, I think our industry could definitely use it.
Do you know whose idea was?
I'll take credit. I would. No, I do not know whose idea it was. Probably not DeWine's.
I got a question for Gonzo because he's played double the amount of shows as any of us, at least. So, tell us about one of your favorite gigs that you've played, whether it's new or old. Just something that sticks out in your memory as a very successful gig.
Two of them, I just want to say one. Let's go one here and one out of town. The first one that's memorable is we had 6 turntables one night at one of PD's bars on 161 on a Sunday. We're open till 4 in the morning again.
What was the venue called?
The Banana Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Samurai, Tommy D, Bombay, me. I don't think anyone else was there. If there was DJs, there was always DJs hanging out. They were just all. It was just a fun crowd. But we set up 6 turntables, and we ran it all through some RCAs into the main booth, and we were just out on the dance floor set up, just going at it with no idea. I mean, we had a general direction of music, but we were just going at it. Either some things worked or they didn't, but it was just fun. It was a lot of fun. Things like that, I really miss.
Was the crowd feeling it, or was it more like a DJ's, just like a more of like, hey, we're DJing just to DJ, like the crowd can either feel it or not feel it?
It was just an idea. I think Samurai had this idea. There was just so many different things. It was just like, you can either put that added value on it, or you can just be lazy and show up with your records and 2 turntables, whatever. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if we're all hanging out together, I might as well have some fun, you know?
That sounds so much fun.
Right. Another memorable, I was in New Jersey for, remember the DJ times?
Yeah. Atlantic City, yeah.
Also, this promo only was also doing for about 10, 11 years there, the summer sessions where they get all the mix show DJs, the record label people, artists, and everyone just throw them into a hotel and, have all these meetings and seminars all day with remixers, producers, artists just performing. It was just a big networking thing that would go on for 3 or 4 days with drinks and free food thrown in there. So, but it was great networking. But there was one of the cocktail parties they did is at a bar called Murmur, I think. And you walk in, you'd have 2 CDJs, Pioneer mixer here, and over here it'd be another Pioneer mixer and 2 1200s. And it had this awesome booth. Well, they asked me if I would play like house music for this big after dinner event. It was like 400 people from all these record labels, artists were in there, and they just were feeding me drinks. So I'm like, all right, I hope I'm doing this all right. But I was playing just straight legit New York, Chicago house, having fun, talking to people. But the club was opening up after that event was over. It was done around 11. So they had to get the club ready to go. They just let the people start coming in and keep it, they never threw down our party and closed it down. They just let everyone start coming in. So Little John, we were talking about him earlier, he comes in and he starts putting his headphones plugged in the mixer. And I'm like, hey. We stayed and just raged with him till like 3 in the morning. It was hilarious.
That's awesome. Man, that would be nice if something like that came back. Just a big networking party. Yeah,
I don't know if you heard my question earlier, but Marcus Schultz, I run into him a lot. And I looked up to that guy as a radio guy before he was, the big touring guy. So I was just curious, how many times has he been to Dolly already? I mean, it's been quite a few. I had to miss it every time he stopped working.
Yeah, him, all those guys, Marcus Schultz definitely at least 4 times at Dolly, and then
I think we've had him every year they've been open.
2 or 3 at Sway.
He's like one of the nicest guys ever.
I've heard that.
He's very nice. So is Ferry Corson and am I thinking of not Oakenfold? He's a little odd, but
Gareth Emery was a real nice guy.
I feel like if you play trance music, how could you be a dick? Like, can you imagine? You're gonna produce like all this like happy ass shit and then be like, yeah, fuck you.
I'm gonna create some angry melodies. No, that's interesting though to hear that Marcus Schultz was a radio DJ though.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
This is what I knew of him. So back in like late 80s, early in most of the 90s, most radio stations would carry something called Hot Mix, which was a syndicated radio show, and it was done in multiple formats. Marcus Schultz was the executive producer, but he was also a remixer that would make edits of songs that you would never even think that would be him, top 40 stuff. And he was mixing a hip-hop show and a top 40 show after the original guy had left. He did it till about 98, and then that's when he started venturing off and producing more and stuff like that. But they were good. I mean, he just vinyl, instrumentals of songs, to get into, like, because you got to have those transitions and talkovers for all these jocks on, well over 200 stations and whatnot. But that's how I got into listening to him, because I was just fascinated with how he did that. And that just goes to show that you can go any which direction, whenever you're comfortable with it. He just had to take that chance. The guy was a B-boy at one point too.
That is the first thing I'm like, I don't know if I believe that, but wait, Marcus Scholes
That's
is a
how I got
legit
into DJing and then producing and remixing, and now look at him. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That
So
is
I've talked
that
to
is
him a couple
if
times.
you're watching this and you don't know who Marcus Scholes is, just Google a picture and picture that dude break dancing.
He's the guy that never ages.
That's true
He
too.
looks the same.
Oh
That's
yeah, he
true.
does. So you,
from like the '90s, it's hysterical. He looks the same.
so Chris, you liked house music for a long time before the interest of EDM spiked. But I saw like when DJ AM, when EDM was starting to take off a little bit, he started getting really into it. He liked Daft Punk and stuff. So like he started changing and incorporating new styles into his. Is that something that you did when electronic music came around, or I mean, you already had a background with liking house music, but did you start incorporating it a lot more, or were you just required to, or what was your
No,
input?
it's just something that would catch my ear, and I'd listen to it if I liked it, because it wasn't on the dance charts when I started in 2005. That was my goal. That was one of my goals. I love dance music and house music. I wanted to get it on the radio. So I
Yeah,
just learned, and I made a formula where it would work. And then next thing you know, that's around 2010, that stuff started blowing up. But for me in New York, growing up there, it was always a big thing there. House music, dance music, everything was huge there. Chicago, Miami, they all had these just explosions of dance music that never went away. So it was always there for me. And I would bring it over here. It began like in the beginning days of DJing for me. People didn't really get into it. You'd play it. Some people would dance to it. You just really had to be really careful where you'd put it in your set to make it work. Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. But then once it blew up, I think it just took off from there. It's like, oh, hey, a new generation of people actually like this music on the radio and at the bars to dance to. So we got lucky with that, to be honest.
For sure. And now people almost expect it, like at least, some section, at least in most bars. I even think Duct Tape and Brothers probably plays, actually, Duct Tape plays a lot of EDM remixes. They're not saying like, the dance chart stuff, but a lot of the remix stuff. And that's at Brothers. So, James, did you want to do, actually, I had a question for everybody. Have you all played sets since quarantine's been over, since like the reopening?
like
Gonzo has not. Joe?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So Joe and James, have you guys had to change your sets up at all? I know, James, we talked about possibly doing more vibey, more loungy stuff. But then I don't know if everything just started popping off with like them reinstating dancing.
Yeah, so it was really weird before they allowed the dancing, which was like what, a week ago, Joe?
Yeah, this past weekend was the first weekend that they kind
Okay.
of let loose.
So it was weird because I wanted to play a lot more vibey stuff, and I did for like 20% of my set. I played like a lot of deep house, a lot of indie, a lot of just lounge music, some Cascade and stuff like that. But as it got busier with the tables showing up, you could just tell they still wanted what they were hearing before the pandemic hit, before we all shut it down. So I would throw in some your top 40 or top hip hop hits. And it was weird because people couldn't dance, people weren't allowed to get up in their seats, but that was just short lived because then they started dancing was allowed in bars again, which we still have like the tiniest dance floor, but at least people can stand up at their tables now. But what I actually like the change because now I can incorporate a lot more up tempo and house music and into what was mostly just a hip hop set on a Saturday night is now like house music is back for sure.
Good.
Like, would you agree, Joe?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially this past Saturday. I know you played a lot more up tempo stuff, and people were digging that. The whole thing's just been really interesting, man. Because I played that very first weekend. What was that, Memorial Day, before everything shut down from the curfew and stuff. I was at BBR that night, but that was definitely a different game than even I think I played a couple times last weekend as well, or 2 weekends, whenever that was, when people still weren't allowed to dance. But people weren't even allowed to hardly get up and go to the bathroom. So I had to be so careful about what I played, and just the whole thought process of what you're going to do is so much different when it's like that, because it's not even that you just don't want people to, you want to keep people calm, but like if people start getting rowdy, then they get kicked out. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Now, Joe, did I know you were DJing at Fireproof for a while. Did your prep for Fireproof help with stuff at BBR when you're not really supposed to be encouraging people to dance? Did that help at all?
Yeah, I did get into a little bit of that. Yeah, probably not as much as I could have, but I think that helps everything though. Even if it's tracks I'm not playing, it just makes you do homework and find new stuff that, whether it's a remix I'm finding for Fireproof, well, then I can go back and I can find the original to play somewhere else, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think just like the more music you expose yourself helps you anywhere you're playing, whether you're actually using it or not.
Cool. James, you want to do a show and tell, or do you have another question for Joe?
I do have a quick question, but I'll give them a heads up. So, actually, I'll just ask the question. So, Joe, I know that you dabbled into music production. I know that electronic music, you kind of got you into DJing. Like you said, some of your favorite shows were opening for some of the electronic acts at Dahlia and stuff. Talk about your journey as a producer. Obviously, it's so time consuming, and you're promoting full time for Dahlia. You're playing every weekend, but you've also been able to learn a lot, especially through some friends. Just talk about your journey trying to learn music production, real quick.
Yeah, that's really what I started before anything else. But I probably had a pirated copy of FL Studio or Fruity Loops at the time, 15 years ago. And I started playing around with that, and I didn't really take it serious until I got into college, really. But I haven't been doing it as much, but I'd spend so much time, and I wasn't as lucky back then because there weren't all the YouTube videos there are now too. I feel like I was finding in like random forums where someone would explain how to do something, or I'd be trying to do something and I didn't even know what it was I was trying to do. I knew what I wanted done, but I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know how to do a Google search or anything on how to do it. So a lot of it was from the start was kind of flying at the seat of my pants. And but as I got more into it, more videos came out. It became more like the software became more accessible to people. So more people were putting tutorials out. I'd say for a solid like 2 or 3 years, that was my whole life though. I'd come home from class when I was in school, or spend my weekends where I'd spend 10, 11, 12 hours a day working on one track, or and half the time nothing would even come of it. It wouldn't even be anything that I'd finish up, right or wrong. But I would, I'd come home from work or come home from class and sit down, and I'd just start playing around, and next thing I know, the sun's coming up, and sometimes I had a track and sometimes I didn't have anything. I'd like to get back into it more, but I feel like I've got so many other things going on that I don't want to say I don't have the motivation, but I kind of don't even have the motivation for it.
I feel
Joe,
it.
What was your biggest breakthrough with production? I know we have a lot of producers who watch the podcast. What was the biggest moment? Was it when you figured out how to use EQ correctly? Was it filters? Was it gain staging? What was your biggest breakthrough moments so other producers kind of know what to look for?
Was that to me or James?
Joe, you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was understanding how important mixing is, and mastering for that matter. But I spent years where I'd make these tracks, and I even go back now and I wish I still had some of the project files, because I think they could be all right, but I wouldn't mix anything. I wouldn't pan anything. Everything sounds so muddy, and I didn't understand why it was. I could make something that sounds almost like it could be cool, but it just isn't there. It still sounds like someone made it in their bedroom. and I started reading more about mixing, how to, just how to get sounds to blend together, not overlap, not cut into each other. All of that stuff. I think that's a lot more important than people realize, because it's so easy, man, to get into it, and you're putting on a new track and you're like, man, this is sweet, this sounds awesome, and to get like tied up in actually what you're creating, and it's easy to just put on the back burner, like, I got to do something to actually make it sound good and work together too.
James, I want to ask you a question, like a follow-up to what Zona's talking about, and then we'll go to show and tell with Gonzo. Is there, like, how do I want to say this? Within mixing, let's say Zona has a dope track. He's got the melody, he's got the vocals, he's got everything. Can't he just pay someone to do the mixing and mastering for him, or it doesn't quite work like that? You have to have a little bit more.
I mean, the truth is, yes, he could. That's what a lot of big names guys do, actually. But it's going to cost you a lot of money, and that's just one project, and you're taking a chance on a project that you don't even know is going to work out. So, then it's not all in your hands unless you're partnering on that mix down and mastering, I guess. But you're also not going to learn much, especially with the mix down. I feel like mastering is pretty difficult for most people, but just learning how to properly mix down your track and make it sound, like you said, less muddy, is something that takes time, but is very rewarding. I've went through previous projects as well, and had that same issue where I thought I had something going and just something didn't sound right, and it just didn't work out. But it's tough to go back to a project and remember like what inspired you to make that project, or like,
yeah, I agree.
Where your creative process was. So it's not the same.
All right, guys. Before we go to show and tell, actually, James, go ahead and introduce show and tell. I have a show and tell of my own.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna go grab it real quick.
So guys, we just do this each episode to, get off the DJ related topics, but we can still make your show and tell DJ related. What's up, DJ Leak? But also, so basically anything that's significant, special to you guys, if you want to show us, it could be something DJ related, something not. Who wants to go first?
I actually have to go grab mine too, so someone else can go.
Well, we got to wait till they come back. Can't just, like.
Oh, my bad. Damn, where did I put that at?
I know you got something cool in that studio there, Chris.
There's all kinds of stuff in here, but I'm just like, what would be interesting? I mean, I don't know. I'm just so used to staring at everything in here day after day, year after year. Got some plaques in here. I don't know. The only thing I'm kind of excited about using in this studio is my Allen and Heath board. I still love that thing. I got a zone mixer.
Nice.
And with that thing,
yeah, show that thing. Are you able to put the camera on it, or?
Yeah, it's not even hooked up yet. So, yeah. So instead of going Pioneer, I bought this beast.
Oh yeah, get that thing up here.
Yeah, this is what I do my mixes and my radio shows, my broadcast on. This thing's amazing because it has just certain sound to it. I don't know how to explain it, and also it keeps everything pretty much level when you're doing a radio show. Nothing's running in the red or the green. Or it's perfect it's right where it needs to be before you can move anything. It's just weird the way it does it.
Now, is that yours, or do you have to keep that in the studio, or?
Oh, that's mine.
Nice.
All my gear's mine. Yeah, I was saying to someone else earlier this week, there's actually 6 1200s in this building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's 2 in here that are mine. There's 3 that are IQs. And every guy has one hooked up in the main studio. It's just there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Down. We got it.
Oh, yeah.
Are we back?
Hello.
I need to hear from the Leak and Surge. Do we have sound now? Oh, shit. Surge joined us. We got everybody. We got the whole.
You want to hear a leak? I can't take this upstairs.
Can you hear that?
I can hear them. Can you hear me, baby?
No, way too loud. Way too loud. Okay,
Way too
so we're
loud.
back. We have sound. So Mike has his show and tell. Introduce yourself.
Take it over.
Who?
You.
Oh, my name is Chet. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? In place to be, baby. Y'all can introduce me. I so suck at being human.
Well,
or
Gonzo, go ahead.
Are you?
Oh yeah. Gonzo can. Yeah.
So many freaking names, like Prince Johann Vaporfluff to.
Uh,
I found that mask. Yeah.
The alien mask.
Yeah, I just found that. Without the eyeballs in it, though. I think I replaced the eyeballs.
What about Sexerham Lincoln?
Oh, yep.
Ooh.
That was a good one.
Sexerham Lincoln got me gigs. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
That shit was crazy, but it was dope, though. You got to come out and do a showcase. I'm like that in Batman underwear? Totally down.
Oh my gosh, sadly I think that was at my house. But anyway, so for those of you that don't know, this is DJ Bombay, incredible turntablist, has been to the DMC tournament. Very, very talented DJ. Went to high school with Gonzo, and just a legend in the city. So what's up, man? What's new with you?
Chilling, man. Just got my year fucked by COVID and started doing more like mixing and mastering. So I've been doing that. Being introvert, man. Just yeah.
Are you trying to get back onto the shows? Like, are you gonna try to tour again?
No, sadly, never again. No. Let's see what happens, man. I mean, this year I was trying to do the DMC again because, yeah, I was trying to win that mug. But then, you know.
Yep.
So
how much time goes into practicing a routine for that? I just want
my life. Yeah, I have no social life. between making routines and making beats and mixing and mastering and stuff like that, yeah, I don't have no time for nothing.
For those of you that don't know what the DMC battles are, YouTube that right now and check out Bombay and DJ Bombay and see what that's about.
The funny thing is it's actually under Bombeardo, which sounds like a damn magician. So it's all these like Bombeardo videos.
Always,
I got
that's a whole side gig you could start as Bombeardo for sure.
Oh no, it started. Like Bombay was like, yeah, Bombay was definitely DMC stuff, and then I toured with like every hip hop indie act, and then like I did a couple shows like James Brown, and then for some reason Bombay was taken on Instagram, so then Bombeardo, and then I wanted like a DMC regional under Ice Cold Chet, and that was going to be the new name, but Christy wouldn't let me do it, so she put me on as Beardo. So yeah, if you look up Bombeardo, there's a whole bunch of like scratch videos and Sexerham Lincoln. Ooh, yeah, those two videos.
Dude, I remember when around when I first met you, because I was just hanging out with Duct Tape and Magic, learning from them.
Yeah.
And I just saw you come up, Duct Tape just like scooted out of the way, right? And you just come up like, who's this guy, man? Let Duct Tape spin, And I just saw you scratch, and I guarantee you, like, if I saw you do that again today, I would still be just as wowed. I know that we have some scratchers listening, DJ Leak, Surge is listening, and obviously all these guys. Yep, Surge is here.
For a while, you know that?
What's that?
Huh?
We used to live together.
Who's that?
You and Surge.
Hold on, I had a stroke, man. I'm playing. Yeah, that was a fun thing. That was a fun.
Remember those days, man? We used to.
Dude, those were wild. I got some wild things.
One time where Surge, you, me, and the girl I was dating or whatever at the time, we would prank other DJs that we didn't know who the hell they were.
Is that the homeless shelter
We would book them
story?
at homeless shelters.
Oh man.
I don't want to know.
You were dumb.
Oh man. So
Still, it's probably worse now.
so we've got a lot of DJs listening right now. Bombay, we've had you play at Sway, but that's the last time
man.
I think I saw you play, and it was cool because, it over time I felt like you adapted to playing into clubs and bars. I saw you at what was that patio in the Arena District that I saw you at one time? It was called something.
Dog Bear.
Frog Bear, yeah.
Oh
On the
wow,
patio.
yeah.
That
Oh,
was so long ago, but like,
Remember we used to buy bar 3 turntables and you'd play like Latin music randomly at 1:30 till like 2 for nuts.
thing, man, was trying to like throw some culture into the mix. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, they loved it. They ate that shit up.
yeah. That was like I don't DJ like the whole DJing thing was kind of crazy, man. I had I was taking care of a family member, and it was just like I had to do something. You know what I mean? So I started like DJing like that in the city because, like I said, I'm more known as a tour DJ or like a showcase like scratch DJ. So like that kind of work in Columbus is very far in between. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
yeah. So like my whole like club stint of stuff is even thinking about it's kind of crazy sometimes. I'm like,
I have constant reminders of that because like I have a random Justin Timberlake record that's a pop record, and it's got stickers all over it because he would mark on the turntable where to drop the needle and do routines with my shit and then give my records back. I'm like, these things are destroyed, dude. I don't
yes.
So we got DJ Bombay with us. So DJ Surge is with us. Zona was talking earlier about how much he learned from DJ Surge. He gave you a nice shout out. You owe him a back rub later, Surge. But we've got a lot of experienced DJs here. It's pretty awesome because it's just bringing back memory lane right now. What's like Bombay? Aside from like DMC, what's like one of your favorite shows you've ever played? Because I haven't heard this from you.
In my screen real quick, it's so funny. It's like clean, bearded man. Like, hold on, my bad. I was tripping real quick.
Oh my
It's like
gosh,
my first
dude.
Zoom little thing. My favorite show?
One of your favorite shows that in or out of town?
Probably Lollapalooza. I think that was 2006, which is wild because we did Lollapalooza during the day, and then I had a show at the House of Blues. I think that was Gifted Gab at night, and then the very next morning I had to fly back and do the DMC in Columbus. But the Lollapalooza shit's probably my favorite just because I was late getting the stage. I got like I tried to sneak into this like MTV booth and got kicked out, but I was late getting the stage. I jumped on the front of the stage like on my knees and like fell back into the crowd. So like, so like everybody knew who this little idiot was with I don't know if I think I was like all clean shaven. But yeah, that's probably my favorite show so far that I can remember.
Nice. I didn't know you played Lala. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. I have to send you a video. I think dude, Zona got a cat. Oh,
Yep.
That cat was freaking me out, bro. My bad. I thought he was
bad luck.
creeping on you. I thought he was about to get you.
So,
To see what.
Bombay, where can viewers get these sunglasses?
Oh, yo, look at my Zeus's, bro. These things look. Oh man, I need to get them like.
What are those, Prada?
Large. Those are Fradas. I gotta get the attire. Would you guys talk with Chris? You guys talk about it.
Oh, dude, we talked a lot of radio. We still got a lot to talk about, though. It's been a long time since I talked to either of you guys. So catching up, we're talking about. Gonzo brought up when we used to do the Winking Lizard meetups. Did you ever join us in there?
I don't know if I was living here.
Yeah,
I bounce out a lot, man. Like I just got back from Vegas, so like I've been stuck here kind of throughout this whole My Corona.
Yeah, man, it's been brutal. You were
Yeah,
in Vegas? How long
man.
were you in Vegas?
2 years. Yeah, out there. Didn't want to pay those like Cali prices, you know what I mean? So I was just like, all right, this is the hack to be able to go there and do
Is
some
it?
things
Is it?
and blah blah blah.
How bad is it? Talk about the prices. Like, but I know about the gas prices, but like, just name something else that's like, just like something that you commonly need that's just way too expensive.
Yo, when I
Besides
first
rent.
when I first, this lady was like, yo, I got a nice, a nice place you could come look at and blah 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 blah. She was like, it's like $1,500 a month, yada yada yada, and I was like, ah. She was like, it's a walk-in closet. And I was like, oh, that's the deal out here. So yeah, that was like my intro, and that was like my intro to like, yeah, probably not, son. Like, I'm gonna go over here, but
Just about same as New York then.
New York is, oh my God, yeah. I was staying out in the Bronx for a little while. Like, yeah, it's crazy out there too. Like, oh yeah, I don't know. Chris,
Yeah.
you've been going back? You've been going back to New York?
Not
during this, but like before.
but I did go at the end of the pandemic. I mean, it's not the end of it, but when it started like to curb, I lost 3 family members.
Oh shit!
Yeah, all in like the span of like a month and a half. One died on Easter. So it was just weird. I haven't seen my mother in a while, my sister. I just decided to just randomly drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's wearing masks over there. I didn't go near anyone. A lot of stuff was closed. So we just stayed at a hotel, ordered pizza every night, just relaxed. But I just wanted to see my family.
Hey, I talked to the homies over at Rock and Soul because they got looted.
Yeah, I saw
like
that.
A whole bunch of places got freaking destroyed, man.
It's so sad.
Crazy. Yeah. Damn, bro.
So you guys went to high school together. What's a funny high school story you guys can share with us that's appropriate?
Chris can tell you how we met. That's probably that'll be enough. What I was doing at the time.
I'm sitting at the lunch table, right? But I'm in the DJing already at this point. I know how it goes and works, but I haven't done it yet. But this fool walks through the lunchroom with a 1200, and his slip mat had a dog humping another dog.
Yo, I just found that, and it glowed in the dark. Yeah. And the dog that was getting humped is glowing in the dark. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I asked, I was like, who the hell is this guy? They were like, that's DJ Tech Unique.
Yeah, God, Tech Unique. What the hell is
that? Sounds cool, man.
With one Gemini table and 1200.
Brilliant.
Yo, why were you walking through the lunchroom with that?
Yeah, what are you gonna do with it? Like, where are you going?
Yeah. No, I used to take my like a table and a mixer to school and just like sit in the corner and scratch.
That's awesome.
I already knew what
Would
I
they even allow that? Like,
I was kind of
now
nuts,
they
man.
won't.
They didn't really say anything to me. I was in those like special classes, so I was in like one room all day. So like seeing me out was like, it's like, oh, there's that dude. Just leave him alone, give him a wide berth. And I'm like, talking to myself in the corner like, woo.
No, so after high school, or after school every day, like most of the days during the week, we would go to your house and we just randomly record mixtapes, dub them overnight, and sell them for $20 a pop the next day.
Man, woo!
With the 4-track.
Bills, y'all.
That's an early age hustle.
And then you'd have the legendary answering machine in your studio.
I got all those tapes. I have all those recordings. Oh man, no, but Chris, like we would go to Chris's spot. Damn it, what turntables did you have? Were those Geminis? It was like
like belt drives. I learned on the hard shit, man. It was hard, but I learned it.
Yeah, where the platter was like you would touch it and it'd be like like you couldn't do nothing. But Chris would mix on those, like Chris would play a tape, mix both of those into the tape. Like we were doing some just different stuff even back then. You know what I mean?
Gemini PMX7.
Jeez.
Remember that?
Yeah. He's always been clean. Chris has always been clean. Chris has always been.
Yo, how many
crossfaders
did you go through on that damn thing?
Say what?
How many crossfaders did you go through on that fucking Gemini?
Oh man, especially with body tricks. I would hit something under the leg, and pow, and the fader would just fly across the room, and they didn't make him sturdy.
Recording and rapping, man, that was just fun. Damon and all those guys.
Yeah, the people used to come over and try to rap was hilarious.
Yo, remember that hilarious. With jazz music on the hilltop with Casey?
Oh, is that where that chick was like, "Shut up, white boy," and you're like, "I'm Puerto Rican," or something? Was it that one?
Dude,
just randomly playing jazz music and then just
oh man, yeah. Now that was fun. Yeah, doing the jazz nights, because then you could mix different time signatures and stuff like that. It wasn't just this,
When I first started DJing, it was the Pioneer 600, I think, the silver one. And everybody could not have enough faders on their mixers. And then like guest DJs would come in and like take a couple faders off of a mixer, and you're like, the next day you're like, what happened to the faders? You check the floor, you might find one. And no, it's just you scratching, flinging them off. I should have known.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, I remember now. I did a party at Sugar Bar, and all the knobs and faders were gone off that board,
except for maybe like one that you didn't.
Took all of them off. People had to bring their own.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
and then they tried to sell them on a couple websites, DJ City or something, and they're sold out. Like, I don't even know why they're ever on there. They're just sold out all the time.
Really? Crazy.
That's like buying 44s now, huh? Like Shores.
How long did you have that Techniques mixer though when you got that? Remember? That was
from that was from the DMC. That thing was crazy.
Like gold.
Woo! I forget. The crazy thing was like you could flip it upside down and it had faders built into it. Yeah.
What
the filter on it was dope though, because to make beats though, like I could filter everything down to a bass line. So that mixer was dope for that.
What do you guys think about the transition from turntables to CDJs? I know a lot of, like 8-track.
I mean, I'm still on turntables. I haven't. I mess with the rain joints. Oh God, what are they called? The rain turntable dealios. Yeah, the 12s. Yeah. I mess with those. I like them.
But you don't mess with CDJs.
I have before, but I mean, it's
not the same.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I can't compare it to like DJing with 45s. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't messed with them. I like the video joints though. Doing the videos on the CDJ looking things, because then like if you have like somebody throwing a punch or a slap, you can make it like cutting it. Yeah. Some like real oddball stuff for sure.
I know you guys remember Quantum. I only met him for a brief time when he was at the back room of Spice Bar, but he did that backspin a lot. He just would fling the CDJ, and I was just
like super like.
I was like, that is sweet. Can he do it again? He's like, just chill, I'll do it.
Because can you backspin it like that, and it would go to like the beginning of the song where there's no backspin, and he's still like hitting it like
he'd go forward with it.
Oh yeah.
You know who else used to do backspins a lot when they were DJing?
Mm-hmm.
Mike G. Ilicchio.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I never got to see Mike, man.
I was listening to his mix show.
But wasn't he just like doing like a fade out in his transitions when he did it, or did he just
transitions? And he only played house music on his show. It was called The Edge. It was on Hot 105 here for like 4 or 5 years. He played really dope house music, deep stuff. Just, it was all new. As the show progressed, he started playing more new wave and retro because it switched to another station. It turned Hot 105 to Kiss FM. But he would do a lot of backspins when he was done with his mix. It was pretty interesting. I learned just by listening to radio, and until I met him in high school. That's when I started learning cuts and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm so mad I missed the Mike G era of DJing, because it's one of the things I heard about just on and on about how good of a DJ he was. We did do like a Mike G tribute set one time where he hadn't played in forever, and we just threw him on Serato. We taught him like in one day, and he played like some old Avicii and stuff. He was loving it. But I'm going to get this podcast. I'm going to keep this rolling. I got a good topic here.
Ooh.
Actually, real quick, we're gonna go through all four of us here. DJ Leak just asked, how does everyone feel about playing DJ sets post-COVID? Are you guys playing new stuff, or are you just gonna go back to what you were originally doing? We'll start with you, Bombay. Are you trying to get back into relearning your routine? Or are you gonna try to incorporate some of the newer music?
I'm trying to work, baby. No, I'm not a fan of always doing the same thing. So like, I want to do some ignorant stuff. Like, I want to get back to doing like some like 4 turntable stuff, but like scratching stems, like just some oddball, just weird like stuff for shows, not for like club nights and things like that. Like more like performance things like that. You know what I mean? Like trying to like yeah. I don't know yet, but definitely some different stuff. I mean, having like 2 months of like being able to like think about what's next is like, okay, I want to do something, you know.
Yeah. The latest releases have been interesting as well. Zona, how about you?
I mean, I'm always trying to try new stuff, to find a new way to do something. At the same time, what works, you know. I think there's probably some middle ground there that's probably where I'm gonna be. But I haven't even really been that impressed with a lot of the new stuff I've heard. You know,
there's not really many dance tracks, right? It's just all
right. Not a lot of dance tracks. I don't listen to a lot of hip hop. As it is,
Doja Cat.
But I mean, I'm really disappointed because I thought there was gonna be a lot better music coming out after, you know, everyone's been locked up for 3 months. And
it's coming.
I mean,
yeah,
I hope so, man. Like
it's coming.
I'm hoping so. But yeah, I mean, to answer the question, I think it's kind of a hybrid between, you know, doing what we were doing and trying to incorporate new stuff, even if it's finding older music that you can incorporate in a new way.
Gonzo?
Remix it. Make it a new song again.
Yeah, you guys, real quick, you guys got to get on your remixes, man. Like, whoever this is pointing to, you guys got to do edits, man. You guys got to do edits and some remixes. Do you guys have any things like that? Like,
you just talking about like with the production?
Yeah,
man. Sometimes it's just, you know, choosing the right song, making sure you can actually do a proper remix, making sure you have the acapella or stems. I think because I've half-assed some remixes where I've had to try to dissect an acapella or you know, take little small samples of a song, and it just wasn't enough. You know who does a really good job is Joe Maz. He's just the best of that stuff. But
you know who also does a good job and probably will never hear him is Serge. Serge is freaking.
He actually has some really good edits. Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. Yo.
I have a lot of his old stuff.
I haven't heard much of his old stuff, but I know
some of them he wouldn't give up. He just wouldn't give
up. He never gives anything up, man.
I mean, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go to tips for listeners. This is always a fun topic, one of Mike's favorite, because we try to ask tips for listeners that they might not have already thought. So tips for the DJs listening, somebody that might want to get into DJing, or just anything to help them out in the industry, whether it's getting gigs, becoming a better DJ. Zona, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think if I don't know who I was listening, but if there's anyone that's just trying to break out into the scene, I've been seeing a lot of younger people that don't want to put in the work, and they just want to jump right in and get.
What do you mean by that?
Prime time. People just wanting to jump in and they're expecting the prime time sets, or people showing up late to gigs. Like they're told to start playing at a certain time, and they show up 10 minutes later and nothing's even set up. And I think that's just bad etiquette. And I think I'm seeing more and more of that. The more new faces I see, and that's not everyone, but but it's kind of frustrating to see a lot of entitlement, and most of the time those people that come in with that attitude, they don't last long. They think they're hot shit, and whether they're good or not, they just have the wrong attitude, and then they get too big for themselves even, and next thing you know, they're either not in the scene or they're nobody remembers who they are.
So your advice is younger DJs bring the humility.
Stay humble.
Yeah.
Stay humble and be willing to put in the work that because I'm sure it was the same for anyone here. No one's first gigs were walking into a club at midnight that's already packed and just blowing the roof off. You sometimes you got to play crappy gigs. You gotta you just have to put in the work. That's all I can really say.
Okay. Gonzo?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. But if you want to, I think you just have to meet people. You've got to be social. You've got to go out, go to one spot where someone DJ is there, pay attention to what he's doing, ask questions, but then go to another spot where there's another DJ that you want to meet or talk to. And then you just kind of see how people do different things. And then you come up with your own formula as you're practicing. So then that makes you an individual. So, but just pay attention to the basics of how to DJ and how not to. Like Salone was saying earlier, Mike, you can learn things from even bad DJs or good. I mean, it doesn't matter, but just learn, watch, observe, and ask questions, meet people.
I like that. So like find your own creative self by learning and combining what you want to take from other guys that you're watching and learning from. And also the networking part is huge too. Bombay, give it to us.
Hey, real quick, this looks like the Brady Bunch. How many squares were in the Brady Bunch? Like when they're one in the
more
middle?
than this. This is like not even halfway through the intro of the show. Like,
oh, this is amazing. Yo, I mean, oh God, it's such a funky question because a lot of people, they want to DJ and like they want to DJ for like clubs or like be like a real big, like maybe like a Vegas DJ or like somebody that's in the lights and stuff like that. When it's like I DJ indie hip hop and funk and soul nights, so there is so much to do in this. You know what I mean? So it's like I think figuring that out first, because you might, you kind of got to be passionate about it. Like DJing from 9 till 2, from like a Thursday to Sunday, and then doing pool parties during the week, like might not be your thing, So you might be like, yeah, I want to DJ, da 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 da, but then you're listening to like what are you passionate about? What do you like? And then maybe try to figure out how to do that in front of people.
That's a really good point, actually, because I know quite a few DJs that get involved with DJing that don't get to play what they thought they were going to get to play. They maybe what inspired them to start DJing, they just kind of took a turn and now they're not as passionate, like you said, about it. So
because people were coming there, they worked all week, so it's like their Fridays and Saturdays are like you're playing for them. You know what I mean? So you're playing the radio hits and stuff like that. Maybe you're just not passionate about that. So it's like
I think people get burned out sometimes. Yeah. You gotta go outside your realm. If you're playing the same thing, the bartenders know that you're going to be playing the same thing in the same order. Those are the guys that just are burned out. They got to go explore other things.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true. Very true. All right, guys. So, this has been a pretty successful episode. We've got a lot of veteran DJs, a lot of passionate DJs listening. Shout out to DJ Bombay. I want to give everybody an opportunity to shout out their social media, and we really appreciate. Me and Mike started this podcast during when the pandemic hit, and just reconnect with. There's so much talent in the city with the DJs and producers, and we've had electronic guys on. We've had turntablists. We've had open format DJs, and it's been awesome. Every episode is just so different, and it's just cool to hear everyone's perspectives of everything going on and the tips and stuff. But let's start with Zona. Give us where can people find you and follow you and find you DJing?
I play at Dahlia every Saturday, sometimes Fridays. Usually from, I don't know, 9 to 11, 12, whenever. I'm at Beat. It's hard to say because I don't know what my schedule's going to look like. As of now, that's about it. But sometimes I'm at BBR on Sundays. Come to Dahlia, come to BBR, come to Fireproof. I'll probably be there if I'm not DJing, even.
Serving mango bombs, I'm sure.
Mango bomb guru, baby.
What is
my
that?
Instagrams. What?
What is a mango, huh?
A mango bomb.
Oh,
The
I never
shot.
had that. Oh,
I've had one with you, probably, Bombay.
I'm sure that I've given them to you.
It's caffeine and vodka.
Oh God!
It's medicine.
Where can we find you? What's your Instagram, Joe?
My Instagram's Joe Zona Columbus, and then I've got a Facebook page that I don't really manage that much, but it's the official Zona. But catch me on Instagram. What?
Is Facebook dying on us, or what's going on?
Yeah,
nobody's giving their Facebook anymore to us.
I posted the link to this episode. And I realized this is the first post since 2 years ago when you and I were playing a pool party together. But hit me up on Instagram. That's the best way to get in touch.
DJ Leak said we all need to go to Tequila and get away from the mango bombs. So
yeah,
we'll do that.
Get over himself.
Gonzo, where can we find you? And where can we find you DJing? And
I connect most listeners on Twitter. So it's at DJ Gonzo, WNCI. I run the Spin Cycle channel on iHeartRadio, which is a bunch of mix show DJs. It's 24/7 mixes. It's non-commercials rather. I'm on there random times. I don't have a set schedule for it right now because we're making some changes to the radio station. Other than that, Friday I'm on mixing and NCI with my syndicated show, which is on multiple cities like Jacksonville, Charlotte, North Carolina. Saturday's the fun one for me. It's always been just whatever I want to do. I take the bigger hits. I take things I'm feeling, some old school stuff, take requests from people, and I just mix a 4-hour party on NCI, 10 o'clock till 2 in the morning. It's been live at clubs, in the studio, or pre-recorded. Either way, I have fun doing it. I've been doing it for 15 years, so
nice.
I'm pretty thankful to be here.
That's awesome, man. I haven't gotten to hear those Saturday mixes because I'm working, but
by the way, if you ever have some remixes or production or anything, just send it my way. I'm all about playing stuff on Saturdays. I play a lot of my friends' remixes in one.
Oh, all right. I mean, dude, that's amazing to hear.
Yeah, dude,
absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, I'm all about, if it's Saturday's a very local show. You know what I mean? I try to make it as Columbus as possible with the sound of the show and just what we as Columbus party people like to listen to. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
And that's also infrastructure, man. That builds infrastructure in the city to stack things on top.
Yeah,
so
it's just a local show, man. I mean, it's got a radio tower that reaches most of the state, so I'm lucky. But I still like to make it all about Columbus. You know what I mean? It's just our vibe. That's our party on Saturdays. So
I got a radio tower that reaches nothing.
That's awesome of you, though, man. I mean, I think now more than ever, it's awesome for everyone to support each other. The DJ scene is incredible in Columbus, so that's cool. Bombay, where can we find you? I don't even know your Instagram. I don't think so.
Gluten-free singles. No, it's just Instagram, Bombeardo, BOMBEARDO.
And it's a picture of a nipple.
It's a titty ball.
Is it really? Hold on, let me get this.
Nipple damis. It's a nipple damis for sure.
There it is, right there.
Medicine with that dried out vegetable.
You love it.
How many times?
Love it.
All right, so
there it is. There it is. Hell yeah.
Bombay, whenever you get to doing more shows, man, let us know. I know everybody in Columbus enjoys what you do, so we can all come and support.
One more thing.
For shizzle. Oh, yes.
Right. A Bombay story.
Yes.
Yes, let's hear it.
shorter hair, and his hair's dyed blonde like Eminem. All right.
Ooh, those
It is.
were good days.
And then you got this new song by Fatboy Slim called Rockafeller Skank. All right. So it gets faster. You know that build up that gets faster and faster.
Yeah, yeah.
This fool would get on the other turntable and just start cutting over it as fast as he could. And all the strippers would come over to the DJ booth and be like, "Oh my God, how are you doing that?"
No, the funky thing is a couple times, like I'd be sitting there cutting and my hand on the fader would just leave and I'm getting a hand massage. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like I'm trying to like, somebody's like rubbing my hands like, what the fudge sickle? Like, yeah, funky times. Damn, that was, ooh. Yeah, we got it. Off air.
Oh, you missed it. I was telling about the time we got 6 turntables at Cabana.
Like, yeah, that's impressive right there.
Oh, we're about to, the B-Boys came out. Yeah, that's funny. Fun stuff.
All right, guys. We appreciate you, Gonzo, Bombay, and Zona for coming on this podcast. We're back next Thursday. Thank you guys. It means a lot, you know.
Yeah. Love you guys, man, for sure.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay safe out there. Bombay, stop in Dahlia sometime.
Are you working this weekend?
Yeah, is it open?
Yeah. Friday and
Saturday. Woofing this weekend for sure.
Other than like getting my shows mixed and loaded, I'm not doing anything. I'll just pop out.
Oh, dude, please come and hang out. Absolutely. You guys are more than welcome. DJ booth is ours. All right. Sure. I'll sign off here. Thank you. This is shout out DJ Access for my co-host.
Here he comes, running downstairs.
All right, well, I missed?
We're closing it out. You missed the whole episode.
No, man, I'm here. All right, so listen, guys. 614 releases. They are doing free wooden bracelets with each order. There's a code. I believe it's Columbus. It's in my notes, and I don't have that on this laptop here. But yeah, check out at 614. I know Intel released another track this week called Ariel, Ariel, excuse me. And so check that out. Intel's a great friend of the show. Should know him by now. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you found something helpful or entertaining, like the video, subscribe for more podcasts, more tutorials, more reviews on gear we do on the channel. So we're here back next week, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know we got Surge, and I'm pretty sure we got Chang's song.
Okay.
No, Chang's the following week. So just like and follow the channel and the Facebook page, and it'll all be there, I promise. Take us out.
Yeah, I already did that. There we go. DJ Bombay, everybody. Look him up. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you at Dahlia. We're going to take a group shot. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Great out.
Peace, guys.
Is it tequila?